Time for Kai's Corner on OnsideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
Good morning. We are here at beautiful Drive Pink Stadium. Setting stuff up, still getting ready to go. I can hear myself now. That's perfect. So, we have a great show today for you guys. We're going to have on Ronan Murphy, someone who's come onto the show before. We've talked Bundesliga with him before. And the last time we did, it was before the Champions League. It was before anything happened. He cursed my beloved Bayern Munich as they were, he said, as long as Robert Lewandowski doesn't get injured, he'll be fine. He'll get the record set by Gerd Muller 49 years ago in the 70s. Then literally the next day, he got injured while on break with Poland. And then I was very upset, but he came back. He got the record. Everything is good and gravy there. But we talked earlier this morning, was able to record that with him, which is great because he is pretty much very, 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 very far away. So we were able to get him on a recording so that we could get everything good and ready to go. That'll go out about 10:34 around that time. We'll have him on and we'll be able to talk about that. And then we're also going to have on Alana Tahauer. She's going to come on. We originally had someone else planned, but things happen, things come up. That person will come on next week sometime, and we're working that out as well because it was supposed to be a whole thing of besides, Ronan, and then, of course, Ira tomorrow. It was supposed to be a whole thing of new people this week, unfortunately. One of them isn't able to work out. That's fine. That's perfect. It's good. We're good to go. And we will have them on next week, which is great and gravy. We have, again, like I said, a very great show. I'm very excited to get into it. And it's funny because I was telling Sean yesterday, I was like, you know what? Along with the YouTube feed, I'm also going to record my feed on something else as well so I can use things and other stuff like that. So we have a YouTube feed going up. I don't care about this person. We have a YouTube feed going up. I have another feed going up over there. So everything is pretty nice and gravy. So it's going all good. It's going all nice and good. I'm very, very, very happy with everything. So we're doing well. Everything here on the corner, as a lot of people like to call it, especially NorCal, it is going good here on the corner. So we have our polls for today. There are actually 3 today. I completely, as I was making them, completely forgot the fact that I'm having Ronan on today. It was like a complete side swipe, even though I had recorded it an hour prior to when I put the polls up. So I had not included a soccer one, so I made sure to include one about the Euros. So we will talk about the Euros here today because while we have Ronan on, I also want to make sure that we talk with him about or not talk with him, but we talk about the Euros and we talk and have a couple segments as well, or a couple talking points as well about other things. So the first one, after last night, and when we get out of this, I'll ask Sean his thoughts on this as well, because I feel like the hatred for LeBron James last night grew, especially with all the talk about the injury, and then I was seeing 3 rims and all that other stuff. I think a lot of people are very, very annoyed with what's going on right now with LeBron James, so I definitely want to get into that on a whole other segment. And then the other one is, who has the biggest breakout season for the Miami Dolphins this season? Should have just been who has the biggest breakout season for the Miami Dolphins. Whatever. It is what it is. Lynn Bowden Jr., Noah Igbenogany, Myles Gaskin, or Raekwon Davis. You might ask yourself why certain guy, why is Myles Gaskin in there? Why is Raekwon in there? They kind of both had some pretty good seasons last year. Raekwon, of course, coming on towards the back end. I wanted to include guys that I feel have been big talking points with Dolphins. Lynn Bowden Jr., I feel like, was a really big talking point through all the people that I talked to with the Dolphins, in terms of everyone that I talked to in general, not on the team. I'm saying in general of other fans and other people that I work with. And Lynn Bowden Jr. was always a big talking point on what can he bring. The Raiders tried turning this guy into a running back, and clearly it didn't work. Turns into a wide receiver. He was a little bit productive for the Dolphins and showed that there are some flashes that he could possibly have. So I wanted to include him. With Noah Igbenogany, he's another one that's a really, really big talking point. Can Noah get it going? Can Noah, be something this season with the Miami Dolphins? What can he really do for the Miami Dolphins? So that one was a whole other big one, is kind of what can we get going with that guy? What can we get going with Noah after a really, really poor rookie season? So you think to yourself, why is Gaskin and Davis there? Well, I think Myles Gaskin never really broke out. Obviously, he played fantastic. I think everyone will say that he played fantastic. I think for what he was able to do, he was very good. I mean, Omar said it earlier this week. You can put his numbers on a per 16 game basis, and they look very, very good. And it's not giving him more carries in one game than he would. It's going off of his base average. And you see a guy that can potentially be very, very good in the NFL. So that's, we add him in he hasn't really broken out yet, but he has the ability to still break out. So we add Myles Gaskin in there. And the other one being Raekwon Davis, because Raekwon played very well towards the back end of the season, but wasn't the big, the big dog yet. So we wanted to add him onto that one as well. So thus far, Gaskin is leading the way with Noah Igbenogany in second, but barely in terms of Noah and Raekwon Davis are split by 0.5% of the vote. And then lastly, we have the Euro 2020, which should be Euro 2021, but they're calling it Euro 2020. I'm just as annoyed as anyone else could possibly be. Who wins the Euro 2020? And these are using odds. These are recent odds from an article by Sky Network in England. So it's using the odds from them that they had. England and France are tied at 5-1. Belgium's a 6-1, and then Germany is a 7-1 odds to win the Euros. So those are the four teams that we had in, since they're the top ones. Thus far, France is leading the way, with England being a close second. Not a close second, but being second there, and then Germany and Belgium falling third, fourth, respectively. I think that this should be shaping up to be a very good Euro competition. So that's how we include that there, and we just continue to move along. There's also some other big news that's come out of the NFL today that's very, very interesting. So we will we'll definitely discuss that. But Sean Stanley, the producer of all producers, the one that makes everything here work, and without him, who knows where we'd be. How are you doing today?
I'm here, Kai Chisholm. Still mad at you, but I'm here.
Mad at me for what? What is the anger for? Oh, is it for the hockey take that I had in the break?
Not only that, but the fact that you cost the team one. We should be 1-1, but you cost us because you needed ice cream.
It's not my fault. It's. I don't think it's my fault. I think I'm being blamed here for something that I shouldn't be being blamed for.
Well, you have said you're going to watch tonight, so if you watch tonight and they win,
then it is my fault.
It is your fault.
Well, okay, so then I'll accept that.
Exactly. So they're going to win tonight, so it's your fault. Thank you.
All right. Well, then you should be happy.
I will not come on this show until they win again.
But you're here.
And you watch all hockey. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to be watching hockey tonight. I'm excited. It'll be a good game. And look, if I do win, then no one can say anything. If they do win, then it's like, all right, Kai has to be sitting there for every single game, and then I'll sit there for every single game.
But the fact that you weren't there for the one game we needed, we could be 1-1 going to Tampa.
What is the one game we needed? We need the game tonight too.
But if we would have won this game, we need this game now because you screwed us the last game.
I guess. I guess you have a point. I guess you and Big O have a point. I guess that I'm the issue here. Apparently, I'm the issue.
Yeah, you're the issue.
I don't think so.
You are recognizing this.
I don't think I'm the issue, but you know. What?
Why don't you put that on the poll and see what happens?
Is Kai the reason the Florida Panthers lost? That's a good poll. If they lose tonight, then I'll put that up tomorrow. Is Kai the reason the Florida Panthers lost last night? So from there, I do want to ask Sean if you do, if you can, take your time to come on here. I do want to ask. Where's your hatred here for LeBron? Is there any hatred that you have? Is there anything that you look at?
No, not really. I mean, I'll sit there and I think what he does is he lures everybody into this whole thing, like my ankle, my back, my eye poke. and he still shows he's one of the best players, if not the best player on the court every night.
So you don't have a hatred for him like others do?
No, he came here, he did his job, he signed a contract, he did his contract, and he left. I mean, I'm
not even mean on that side. I'm talking about just in general. I feel like so many people hate LeBron James.
They hate him because they ain't him.
Hey, that's a good one. I'd have to agree there. I think I think I've understood the crybaby-ness with LeBron, but I do think it is kind of that we're hating on him for sometimes for no
He
reason.
uses it to his advantage. If they're going to give him the advantage, if he's going to do it, he does that to set the tone with officials, to set the tone with the league, to set the tone with players, and everybody falls into it.
Yeah, they do. I mean, we all like that was the big like all I saw on the timeline last night, and I think it didn't ruin, but it talks about kind of the game and how things went about with that game. It's like you looked at the game from LeBron last night, and the game just in general, I think, was electric. It looked like Golden State was going to run away with it, and then all of a sudden the Lakers start coming back. All of a sudden the game starts to go a different way. You start to, things are changing, and then it just, I mean, it happens. LeBron becomes LeBron. He hits the game winner essentially, and it's crazy. Like the game was crazy. The game was crazy. It would be another crazy game on Friday. Win or go home between Memphis and the Warriors. And especially considering like the Memphis Spurs game was close, but I mean, the big ticket last night was Warriors and the Lakers. Who's going to win? It's going to be a great game. Steph did what Steph does and just went absolutely insane. Like Steph Curry has just become this, he's got to be the MVP this season. Right? Like I don't think that you can look at anyone else right now. I mean, there's other candidates they talked about, Chris Paul, Nikola Jokic, and others that are kind of those candidates. But do you think at least maybe, Sean, like within these past 2 months of play or month and a half almost of play, no, 2 months because April and now, yeah, so like a month and a half of play, that he just kind of has to be the MVP? Or do you think it'll go to guys that kind of did it throughout the year, maybe like a Nikola Jokic, maybe like a Chris Paul? Like, where do you see the MVP odds kind of landing this season? Because I honestly I look at it and I'm like, well, I guess I could even search it up and see like where it's standing, but I feel like you have to put Steph Curry as the MVP this season. Would you agree, Sean, or do you think that someone else has to kind of get that?
I mean, up until the injuries and the end of this season, I think, again, recent bias has got to be Steph Curry. He stayed, we've done Steph-like things the end of the season here. But, I mean, again, I don't know. The NBA this year has been weird because guys you thought were kind of going to run away with it never did. Then injuries popped up. And, I mean, I guess maybe Steph will get it. But I think there's been other players, if you looked around the league, that probably maybe deserve it. But, again, if you're watching the league right now, Steph Curry's been on fire. And he's the scoring title. He won the scoring title.
Again. Like, that's for –
But, again, the MVP should be, to me, for this year. But usually in the NBA, it's last year and leading up to this year.
Right. I think so far as I've looked at the odds, because I thought for sure – when I looked at it, it's like it's Nikola Jokic. I think is going to be the one that's going to win it, and I think everyone's kind of thought, even with how Steph's been playing, I think that's the one where everyone's been like, all right, yeah, it's going to be Nikola Jokic. He's going to win. The latest odds, and I've looked at two different odds now on two different books, and this one's coming from Vegas. It says that it's a 1 to 100 odd if you bet on Nikola Jokic to win the MVP. He's basically the favorite by far. I mean, he's minus 10,000 to win the MVP. The next one up there is plus 2,000 is Embiid and Curry. Plus 5,000 is Giannis. So it's pretty much just like they're saying Nikola Jokic is going to be the guy. He's going to be the MVP. And, I mean, he probably deserves it. Like, Nikola Jokic probably does deserve it. I know people have been upset with looking at the past MVPs and being upset. I mean, when you look at it, you got Giannis, Harden, Westbrook, back-to-back for Curry, Durant, back-to-back for LeBron when he was here, D Rose, LeBron again, back-to-back, Kobe. I think when you get into it, like Dirk Nowitzki won the MVP in 2007. Steve Nash won back-to-back MVPs. One of them, I think everyone agrees, should have gone to Dwayne Wade, and it did not. But in that 2005 and then 2005-06, you have, back-to-back for Steve Nash. Like, I feel like I saw people saying that, you look at Nikola Jokic, and he's one of the worst MVP candidates that we've had. I don't think so, especially looking at past MVPs. There's no way that you look at him and he's like one of the worst ones. I'd have to continue to see different lines, but I've always thought it's going to be Nikola Jokic, and I think people continue to think so. Same thing. I mean, all these odds just have Nikola Jokic winning the MVP with either Steph or Giannis there at 1-2 and Joel Embiid, who also has been fantastic. I mean, Embiid's been awesome as well. Anyways, it was a very interesting night of sports. And then something else popped up this morning that we will talk about will be one of the ones that I guess falls into the trap and talks about it there. However, we're gonna cut into the break now. Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues, especially Jazz Chisholm. Only Jazz Chisholm. 2 hours dedicated to Jazz Chisholm is what I want there. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where InterMiami and all Miami sports fans shop.
WLESPN, broadcasting from a largely empty building. And we do sports.
It's just not local.
Shush, honey.
Why is the building empty?
Because whether it be budget cuts or stupid management, we fired almost everybody.
Ooh, but we still have our job right and local.
At least the building is.
We've got your sports.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At chaseroofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. chaseroofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
InterMiami fans, time to find out more about your favorite soccer team with OnsideRadio.com's IMCF Football Focus. Here's Austin Robillard.
InterMiami are set to take on the Chicago Fire at Soldier Field this Saturday night. A couple of training pictures were posted the other day on social media, and it saw both Kelvin Leardom and Nico Figal back to training, looking to be a little bit healthy. If anything, Kelvin Leardom would be the one fully fit and ready to go over Nico Figal, who had a little bit of a worse injury, but at the very least, it would probably mean that Victor Ujoa would be dropped from the starting 11 and we have a true right back along the back line. Let's see if this helps the team defensively.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right. As we lead up to the interview in the next segment with Ronan, I want to talk about the Euro 2020. as it is going to be probably one of the, I guess, best tournaments that we've seen in quite some time. The last time we had the Euros, of course, was 2016. And what's funny is I was reminded by a video that I watched yesterday by someone that is someone that I watch on YouTube that I think deserves like just so much of a bigger platform. He has I think 2,000 subscribers or something. For anyone that's interested in soccer content, I suggest that you go find him. His name is Maxwell, but it's like there's a Q in it. I have to find the exact spelling so I can make sure I get it out to everybody the correct way. But I think that the stuff that he puts out is fantastic. It's literally, it's Maxwell but with a Q. And I think that instead of an X there, I think he puts out great content. He was reminded, I reminded myself last night through his content that the Euro 2016 were very interesting. And I mean, Portugal, after the group that they had in that, 2016 group stage, they should not have won the game that they did, but they did. Like they shouldn't have won the Euros, but they ended up winning the Euros. It's when you really look at it, it's crazy that they were finished third in their group and went on to win against a very, very good French team that after getting beat by Germany in 2014 goes ahead and beats Germany, 2 Griezmann goals, a penalty, and then another one in the 72nd minute. Him being able to really finish that game and dominate that game and have France go on to win after, of course, Germany had beat them in 2014 and to move on to the final and beat a very good Germany team. But then Portugal, who finished third in their group, who should not have been there at all, they go on and they're able to get there, and they go on and they're able to win. And it's crazy to think about. But hey, that's what European soccer is. That's what these tournaments are. So we look at the Euro 2020s and we look at kind of what's going to happen. The groups are pretty, I think some of them are stacked, some of them aren't. Of course, the big group that everyone's talking about is Group F. And we'll go all the way through them, but I think we need to start with Group F because it is by far it's the group of death. Like when you look at these groups, Group F is the group of death. You have Hungary, who for so long was very, very bad. And after having some of the, best soccer talent ever, they had been bad for so long. They made their first tournament, topped the group in the Euro 2016 with the likes of Portugal and a few, I can't remember the other 2 teams they were in their group. But they go ahead and they top their group. So Hungary, who's been on a rise, they also have some great talent in like a Willy Orban, who I believe was supposed to have German citizenship, and then he ended up switching to Hungary. You also have Dominik Szoboszlai, who's fantastic right now for RB Leipzig. And then there's a keeper as well. Name is escaping my mind for this moment, but they have a very good keeper. Dominik Szoboszlai is doing fantastic with Leipzig, and then Willy Orban has been pretty good as well. So they're kind of another rising talent. Hopefully, they're not going to win the Euros, but they're another good team. So that's a hard matchup for all these teams. Then you have Portugal, France, and Germany. So Group F is just death. Like it is absolute group of death. Every single game is going to be some of the most difficult competition that you're going to find. France is the past World Cup winner. Their talent, there's some of the talent that they have on their squad right now that they did not bring to Europe, or that did not bring to the World Cup, that they could have had in the World Cup. Their team, they are what Germany was supposed to be. Now, who knows how France does in the Euros this summer? Who knows how they do in the World Cup in 2 summers from now, or next summer, or not even next summer, sorry, next winter. Who knows how they do in, the World Cup next winter, because it's going to be in, the Middle East, and they're going to have it in the winter because FIFA is corrupt and money drives everything. That's literally the reason why that's the World Cup that we're going to have next, upcoming winter, next year in 2022. But they have all the talent from the old guard coming into the new guard that everybody thought Germany had. You looked at Germany and you saw this team that won the 2014 World Cup, and you said, okay, but they also have just some of the best young talent that's there. They went on to win the Confederations Cup with their B team. It was one of the, you looked at Germany and you saw crazy things. That's how everyone in the world of soccer looks at France right now. They have some guys in an Ibrahima Konate, Dayot Upamecano, Hassam Aouar, And there's another one. Its name is escaping me right now. The guys that can play for their team right now, that if they were any other nationality would be playing for their team right now in the Euros, they have them on their under 21 squad. Like, that's stuff that you look at that is, it's insane. Like, they have some absolutely just insane talent on their team, and that's one of the ones that you look at where you're just like, okay, France is probably ended up winning, but they have a hard group, man. It's a very, very hard group. It's you look at it, it's Portugal, France, Germany, Hungary. It's a hard group. Start at the top again. You have Turkey, Italy, Wales, Switzerland. If I had to take my guess right now, Italy and Switzerland come out of that at the top of the group. Then you have Denmark, Finland, Belgium, Russia. It's probably going to be Denmark and Belgium that comes out of that one. Belgium for sure, unless they have an absolute just horrible campaign. Then Netherlands, Austria, Ukraine, and North Macedonia. Macedonia is probably going to finish bottom of the group. Austria's team is not that fantastic. The biggest name that they have is David Alaba, who plays in the midfield for them. He's usually a left back, but then transitions to a center back. I don't know how that's going to go with him. Netherlands, they have just a crazy amount of young talent. They'll go through. Group D is England, Croatia, Scotland, and the Czech Republic. It's going to go exactly that way. It's going to go England, Croatia, and then probably Czech Republic and Scotland. And then lastly, Group E, Spain, Sweden, Poland, Slovakia. It's going to be Spain in either of Sweden and Poland. The form that Robert Lewandowski's on right now, it's probably going to end up being Poland. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. But you look at the Euros, and if we want to look at the odds and kind of see what are the odds right now. And again, I was saying that there are some favorites right now, and I got these again from Sky Betting, and this is only 2 days old. England's 5-1 odds tied with France, and surprisingly in the odd pool it goes 1 and 2. It's pretty interesting there. And then Belgium, who are ranked as the number one side of all these teams in Europe, they're actually the third favorite odds. So they're number one ranked right now, and they have the third favorite odds. So that's pretty interesting. And you think about it, you go all the way down. Germany is right there at 12, and they have the second best odds, or the third best odds technically there, because France and Belgium are tied for 1. Or excuse me, France and England are tied for 1. Belgium's there at 2 at 6-1, and then Germany definitely at 7-1, tied with Spain. And a lot of these teams, I mean, I look at it, you have England, France, Belgium, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Italy, and Netherlands, and Croatia there, and I guess Denmark has some good odds as well, but I look at Netherlands, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Germany, Belgium. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those take down these big guns in an England or a France. Even with my bias towards Germany and the fact that I root for them, I don't think that Germany wins the Euros. I would love for them to, for it kind of to be that transition where you bring back the old guard. They go out there and they win it. They go out there, in a Thomas Müller, in a Mats Hummels, with a different squad, with Joachim Löw leaving. That would be awesome. I don't think it's going to happen. If I had to put my best bet, Spain has a crazy amount of talent right now. I think Portugal's talent is not as good as it used to be. Italy has some good up-and-comers, but I think they still need to get everything together. Netherlands has a lot of really good youth talent, but how are some of those older players that they have, how are they going to compete? How are they going to get there? If I had to really put it, I think that you look at it, England and France, England always bottles it. They always bottle trying to get to that point, so I don't think England's going to do a fantastic job at all when it comes to the Euros, because they always find a way to lose, even when they have insane talent. I think France and Belgium are the two teams that I think are going to end up being there at the end of everything, depending on how they get squared again. So let's say that you come out of it and Belgium has to face Spain or Germany coming out of that first group stage match after everything's done, coming into that round of 16. I think that you look at that and you're like, okay, these are two of the favorites here out of the the top four. So then that kind of sucks, because then you don't get that top tier talent, maybe the best teams facing off against each other. But that's what soccer is. You're never going to get most likely the two best teams, because there can be injuries. There can be everything and anything that gets in the way. If I had to think about it right now, I think you see a final of France and Belgium, and I think it's just France. It's the same thought that I had about Germany coming out of the 2018 World Cup. Germany were the favorites after winning the 2014 World Cup, after winning the Confederations Cup in 2016, 2017, after losing the Euros in 2016. You looked at Germany and you said there's just too much talent they're going to win it. It's just impossible for this team to be taken off. I think I look at France that way right now, which could probably be a bad thing. Because I think a lot of people might look at France that way right now and say, you know what, you look at them and you just think there's no way that they could possibly lose, and maybe they do. Coming up next, we'll have our interview with Ronan Murphy from Goal. We talked a lot about the Bundesliga. It was a great talk with him, so I'm excited for that. Catch South Florida Staple every afternoon as Alex Dono hosts the Man of the Match from 3 to 6 p.m. Dono covers everything from football to MMA. Tune into one of the most complete sports shows in the country with the Man of the Match with Alex Dono, 3 to 6 p.m. exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody Ass family. Dr. Moody Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Miami Lakes location at 15462 Northwest 77th Court, located in the Ryan Oaks Plaza. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
WLESPN. We've got all your sports.
We're live and local.
If you wake up early enough.
You're so bad, honey.
Tune us in, as long as you're not under a bridge.
Or under any power line.
Ain't it awful?
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Toast. May is here, which means hurricane season right around the corner. You need to get PGT custom windows and doors installed in your house so that you're fully protected when we get a big storm coming on through. For those windows, only one place to call. My buddies at B&T Windows and Doors. They've been doing it in South Florida for decades, and they will set you up with the best of the business. PGT Custom Windows and Doors. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126 for B&T Windows and Doors.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit a shade above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnsideRadio.com studio. A shade above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A shade above Window Fashions.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Tonight, it's Game 3 of the Panthers Lightning in Tampa. The puck drops at 6:30. The Cats need the win because Kai cost them the last game. They're down 2-0 in the series. Last night, Trevor Rogers led the Miami Marlins to a 3-1 win over the Philadelphia Phillies. Rogers went 7 2/3 innings. Marlins look to win the series tonight at 7:05. Sandy Alcantara on the mound. And then there were 6. Corey Kluber threw the 6th no-hitter of the season and the second in 2 nights. Kluber threw a no-no against the Rangers. 3 teams you want to face if you want a no-hitter. The Mariners, the Indians, and the Rangers. Those are the teams that have been no-hit twice this season. InterMiami CF in action this Saturday at 6 o'clock. Pregame live from Dangerous Minds Brewing at 5 with Alex Dono and the Big O. Then Chris Whittingham, Thomas Rungan, and Fernando Fiore on the Call the Game right here on South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station, OnSideRadio.com.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right, so earlier this morning, I was able to talk with Ronan Murphy, who you can follow on Twitter at @SwearI'mNotPaul. We had a great conversation about the Bundesliga, and I always like talking with him because I always like talking about the Bundesliga, and there's a couple other things that I'll talk about when we come back from just the whole segment in general. But I had the interview with him this morning. It was very good. It's very fun. Again, you can follow him on Twitter at @SwearI'mNotPaul. Here is that said interview. All right, so we're here with Ronan Murphy, who works for Goal. He covers the Bundesliga. He's come on with us before, and we've had him on to talk about the Bundesliga, and that was way before anything had happened. Robert Lewandowski wasn't injured yet. Of course, Ronan cursed him, and then he did get injured, and then everything was kind of still going on in the Champions League and the Bundesliga, but now we're rounding out to match day 34. Ronan, I want to ask, first of all, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm feeling guilty about Lewandowski, but at least he broke the record, so I didn't totally curse him.
Yeah, and what do you make of that? I mean, everyone thought that he was going to break the record. Of course, then he gets injured, and then it gets into question, of course, will he break the record? And then the Champions League, will Bayern miss him? Of course, in that first leg, they definitely did. But he goes ahead and he ties it. It seems like he'll possibly have a chance to break it against Augsburg this weekend at 9:30 here on the East Coast. What do you make of him, tying such a crazy record that's lasted for 49 years now?
Yeah, I don't think anyone thought that it would be surpassed or equaled at least. I think people thought that it was just a ridiculous number of goals, because 40 goals over a 34-game season just kind of seems outlandish. It's only Messi and Ronaldo that have reached those sort of numbers in recent years. So I suppose nobody thought it would happen in the Bundesliga because they don't usually get a Messi or Ronaldo. But I suppose Lewandowski has kind of moved to that next level, and he's kind of in a conversation. Obviously not as good over a long period, but in the past 12 or 24 months, he's definitely up there as the best player in the world, and he was awarded the best player in the world award. So I think the only disappointing thing is maybe that the Ballon d'Or last year was cancelled, and then that Champions League exit you mentioned, maybe because of that he won't be getting the Ballon d'Or this year, even after equaling or perhaps breaking the week record.
That's the second question I was gonna ask there. Funny enough, is like if you thought that he would deserve the Ballon d'Or this year, but of course, being out of the Champions League, it being Chelsea and Manchester City here in just about a couple of days, actually like a week. You don't think that there is a chance that he gets the Ballon d'Or just because of the early UCL exit?
Yeah, I think he would have had to win the Champions League, considering it's a European Championships and Copa America year. So I think if Ronaldo or Messi can go deep in one of them, or maybe France could win the Euros and Mbappe or something like that might happen, that there's too many other names kind of in the mix, because Poland, they're a decent enough international team, but they're not going to get very far in the European Championship. So it's going to be hard for them with just the Bundesliga, and that's it in 2021 to kind of stake his name for the Ballon d'Or, even if he can continue to score kind of every week or multiple goals every week next season.
So the other thing I want to ask here is kind of around relegation. I mean, last time when we spoke, Schalke was pretty much, it seemed like it was written in the stars. They were going to get relegated no matter what. But now the relegation battle's kind of become a little bit interesting. You've had teams like Mainz kind of dig their way out, and now they're not going to get relegated. Hertha Berlin have dug themselves out pretty much. And it's really between Arminia Bielefeld and Werder Bremen to try to get that last spot out before the playoffs. They have to face one of those Bundesliga 2 sides. What do you make of kind of the relegation battle and how teams like Hertha Berlin and Mainz have kind of dug themselves out of it?
Yeah, I think they always seemed like teams that they would have dug themselves out, that they had the talent and the quality was there. You probably would have thought that Werder Bremen would have done a bit better this season, especially last year after being involved in the relegation playoff. You would have thought that they would that would have given them a boost. They would have given them a confidence that they weren't relegated and they avoided it. But it looks difficult for them to avoid it this season again, because they have Gladbach at the weekend. That could be a very difficult fixture for them. So the only thing is that it makes it very interesting for the neutral that there are these big teams in the relegation battle. You kind of see it in other leagues, like in England, it's teams that go up and down from the Championship, yo-yo clubs. You've seen the teams that have gotten relegated from the Premier League last season come back up to the Championship. There's a lot of that, whereas in Germany more so, you might see a big side involved, like Hamburg a few seasons ago, or or Stuttgart went down and then they're back up. So it's going to be tricky for Werder Bremen if they do go down to kind of to fight their way back up, because the second division is a difficult division, and it's always so tight at the top in Germany that I suppose they'll be doing everything that they can to avoid getting relegated, because like Schalke, this could be the last time we see them in the Bundesliga for a few years.
And what do you make? I know I told you I wanted to get into Schalke and kind of the reaction from the fans, and I know that me personally, when I saw that, I was just like, this is not kind of how you go about things. Of course, as a fan, I guess you could be very disappointed in the season, and Schalke's season has been extremely disappointing. And obviously now they've been a mainstay in the Bundesliga for many years now, and now going back down into the second division. What do you make of kind of the reaction in Schalke's season as a whole?
Yeah, I suppose it is very frustrating when you support a team that has that kind of history behind them. It's obviously when something like this happens, when you have a season just so bad that they have had, it's going to cause some sort of backlash and uproar. But I suppose fans need to kind of keep in mind that it's football at the end of the day, and they need to kind of see that as the focus. And there are more important things, especially in the last 12 or 24 months with coronavirus and things like that. There are much more important things out there, and much more important things going on in the world, and whether your football team stays up or not. And maybe that's not what I should be saying as a football journalist on a football show, which here we are. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Schalke, because they're in such financial trouble, and that's mainly the reason that they've gone down. They've had so many problems off the pitch over the last few years that it's kind of made it impossible for them to run a football club effectively. So it'll be interesting to see who they might be able to keep on, or who they might be able to sign for next season, because they've already announced that 10 players are leaving the club, and 3 or 4 staff members as well are leaving the club at the end of the season. So that'll just be the start of the exodus. You'll probably see bigger name players also come back and probably be off by Liverpool. Maybe Amin Harit and Suat Sardar will find new clubs themselves, and you might even see Matthew Hoppe, the American young gun. Maybe some Bundesliga team might decide that he's proven himself enough that he doesn't need to go down to the second division.
So the other thing I wanted to ask as well, and it's something that I've kind of been a little perplexed about. Obviously, it's been in motion, the coaching changes at Dortmund and with Gladbach. And one of the things that I've been very kind of interested in is I feel like from where Dortmund were and getting Edin Terzic in there as an interim coach, they go ahead then they hire Marco Rosa from Gladbach, and Gladbach has since had a pretty rough season. I mean, they're teetering on fighting with Union Berlin, who I'm hoping go into that last spot there for the Conference League, because I said that they would get some sort of European competition this year at the start of the season, and I'm really hoping that they get there. But he and Gladbach have had a pretty rough season. Now he's going to go ahead and take over Dortmund. What do you think happens to Edin Terzic, and where do you think he's going to end up going after kind of having a successful second half of the season with Dortmund?
Yeah, I think Terzic he's definitely done himself no harm with the kind of the run in at Dortmund. He's won the cup, and that's going to be on his resume, and he might be able to get a better job out of it. But he's been linked with a few different teams, Eintracht Frankfurt, Bayer Leverkusen, teams like this, and he seems to be happy enough to stay at Dortmund, so he might actually stay on and be Marco Rosa's assistant, which will be odd considering he's been so successful in this latter half of the season. And as for Gladbach, it is frustrating to see just kind of how bad things have gone there. But I suppose when your boss is leaving in any job, you maybe don't work as hard as you might have before. Hopefully my bosses aren't listening in here, but you just don't, you just can put the feet up a bit more. I think that's kind of what has happened with Gladbach. Maybe they didn't need to try as much, and when they knew this was happening, and they might end up missing out on European place because of it.
And I guess another coaching change, Leipzig brings in a new coach. Bayern Munich, of course, Hansi Flick leaves. They're going to bring in a new coach, and Julian Nagelsmann, Jesse March going to Leipzig there. Another American coming into coaching in the Bundesliga as well. I believe there's 3 now that are in the Bundesliga coaching. What do you make of kind of the Hansi Flick situation with Brazo, Hasan Salihamidzic, and then kind of Leipzig with the reported high fee that they let Julian Nagelsmann go in order to get to Bayern Munich?
Yeah, I think it was kind of the writing was on the wall. I think Hansi Flick, he wants kind of more involvement. He wants to be closer to how an English manager is than a German head coach. Essentially, he wants to be involved in kind of signing the players and making decisions on who comes in and goes out of the club. And that's something that he will be able to do, I suppose, to a certain extent. With Germany, he'll be able to decide exactly which players he wants in his squad and which players he doesn't. And maybe that's something that Bayern Munich, because the bosses at the club have so much kind of pull and so much sway, that it was something that he wasn't able to be involved in. There's all these lists of players that he was interested in that the club didn't end up signing, and other players that he wasn't that interested in that the club did end up signing. And I think that's where the falling out was. So at least when he goes to Germany, he'll be able to pick and choose which players he wants, and he'll be able to get the best out of those players then. And as for Nagelsmann, it does seem an outrageous fee, but I suppose it's no different than money they might spend on a reserve midfielder or some player that only is in a squad role. So it just seems a lot for a coach, but we wouldn't consider it crazy for a player. But we heard Bayern Munich were spending 20 or 25 million on a player, you wouldn't kind of blink at it. But because it's a coach, it kind of stands out a bit. But if they think he is as good as he is, he seems to have proven it so far. He's taken a kind of Leipzig team as far as they can go. He took a Hoffenheim team as far as they could go, and even further. He kind of seems to get the best out of his players wherever he goes. And you've seen when he's left clubs, or when players have left him, that they just haven't been as good the following season. And the most evident one, I suppose, is Timo Werner this season in Chelsea. He just hasn't he hasn't played as well at Chelsea as he had with Leipzig. And I know people will say it's the kind of quality of the league or whatever, but he just, even watching him, he doesn't look as good as he was under Nagelsmann. So I suppose that's what Bayern Munich are looking for, someone that can make their superstars an even better team together. And if he is the right man for the job, it'll be, I suppose, at 25 million might end up being a bargain for them.
Yeah. And lastly here, what do you make of Marsch going to Leipzig?
Yeah, I think it's obviously the most obvious move with the whole Red Bull thing, and he's going from one to the other. This is the top step on the Red Bull ladder. There's nowhere else for him to go from here. But he seems like he's ready for the job, and he is also a kind of a good mix between a tactical and a man management coach. And I think Leipzig seems a good fit for him because he's used to everything within the Red Bull organization. He knows how things work, and he's familiar with a lot of players that are there already, having either coached them as an assistant at Leipzig or they've been brought over from Salzburg after proving themselves in Austria. So I think it's the natural progression for him. And if Leipzig hadn't have made a move for him, if Nagelsmann had stayed, you definitely would have seen him probably move into the Bundesliga anyway, because he's just ready to take that next step. And I think he will be able to get them back in the Champions League and maybe get into the knockout stages next year.
Roden, thank you so much for coming on, man, and taking some time out of your day. I really, really appreciate it. We'll see probably Lewandowski break the record here. Who knows in terms of what happens this upcoming Saturday, and then from there, hopefully, the Bundesliga continues to be exciting next year, and then the Euros are also very exciting. If something crazy happens, I'm sure we'll have you on again. But I really appreciate it.
Great, you're most welcome. I fully expect them to beat the record this weekend, because it doesn't matter whether Bayern wins. So I'd imagine every time anybody gets the ball, they just look up and pass it to Lewandowski, and here you go, try and score, mate.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's going to be. Again, Roden Murphy from Goal. You can follow him on Twitter at @SwearI'mNotPaul. Roden, thank you again, man.
Cheers.
All right, want to thank Ronan for coming on. Really appreciate that from him. Of course, considering the fact that he literally is in Ireland and he comes and he talks with us, so I really appreciate that from him. Anyways, when we come back, we're going to have a quick little segment and then bring in hour 2. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. You're listening to OnSideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where InterMiami and all Miami sports fans shop. InterMiami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all InterMiami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the InterMiami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com. There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
Game 3 is upon us as the scene shifts from South Florida to the West Coast. The Panthers are in an 0-2 hole after dropping both games 1 and 2 at the BB&T Center this week, and the Cats will have to make a little magic on the road if they're going to claw their way back into this best-of-7 series. The good news for Florida is they get center Sam Bennett back in the lineup. Bennett was suspended for Game 2 after a boarding incident during the series opener that was deemed worthy of more than a penalty or a fine by the NHL's Department of Player Safety. The hope is that Bennett's return will get his recent line mates going again after Jonathan Huberdeau and Owen Tippett were held to a combined 3 shots on goal during Game 2. Another question surrounding the Panthers is which goaltender ends up getting the nod from head coach Joel Quenneville for Game 3. Both Sergei Bobrovsky and Chris Driedger have received a start during the postseason, with neither coming away with a win. One thing you can bet on is that world-class goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky will be in net for Tampa. The puck drops on Game 3 at 6:30 from Amalie Arena.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
right. So, the roundtable segment for today, yet another segment in which Kai-Chan Chisholm has to learn about hockey and be accountable for things happening in the world of hockey. Here we go. Where is your confidence level for the Panthers tonight? If Bob fails to be great tonight, should next season be all about Spencer Knight and turn the page on Bobrovsky, making him the most expensive backup in NHL history? I will say I know who Spencer Knight is. Love that. I do know who that is, so that's great. And I'm also getting the move on there. I think right now, I guess the Panthers are in some identity crisis when it comes to who's going to be in goalie, and I feel like if you're going to make the guy who you selected 2 years ago, right? I believe he was selected 2 years ago. If you take the guy that you selected there in the NHL draft and you go out there and you try to make him and give him the opportunity, obviously it hasn't worked with Drieger. It hasn't worked with Bobrovsky. So if you have to go out there and you have to have someone to really, if you think that you're going to have a guy go into the net and you think you're going to have a guy go in between those sticks and be the guy that you want to go ahead, it should be the guy that you drafted. Of course, he is young. And of course, you're going out there and you're looking at someone who you're not really sure yet. I mean, I believe he's like only 21 years old, something like that. So you go out there and you look at that. Come on. At some point, yeah, you're going to have to go out there and make that change. At some point, you're going to have to go out there and kind of decide, ipso facto who you're going to have go in there. But I think it'll end up happening. I think Spencer Knight will end up kind of being the starter there. But that's all I really have to say. And that coming into next year, not for tonight. But I think that's all I have to say there on the round table segment. Going to come into hour 2 here in just a little bit. We'll talk with Alana Tahauer, and we'll talk with her about all things Miami Heat and then a couple other things. Just kind of the same situation with Royal. Talk about as much as we can. No, Siri, I'm not asking you anything. Jeez. Anyways, Siri's so annoying. They're always listening. That's the big thing that everyone should remember. They're always listening. I'm looking for a specific one. Why can't I find it? Here we go. Oh my God. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Sean Stanley hosts Square Circle Digest. Now wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the flagship station of InterMiami CF, OnSideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at OnSide Radio.
Hey, it's Toast, and when I got PGT custom windows and doors installed at my house last year from B&T Windows and Doors, I knew that I was protecting my house when it came to hurricanes, but I was also investing in my house. My value went up. My home insurance cost went down. Yeah, I can now get more for my house when I sell it because I have PGT custom windows and doors installed courtesy of my buddies at B&T Windows and Doors. Just another reason why you should upgrade your house today. Give them a call, 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126, B&T Windows and Doors.
OnSideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your OnSide Radio E-Report with Toast
Valorant developer Riot Games has suspended Jay Sinatra Juan for 6 months for his failure to cooperate with a sexual assault investigation. The former Overwatch pro player will also have to complete professional conduct training, and the investigation has now been turned over to law enforcement, according to Riot Games. In March, a former partner accused Juan of sexual assault during a 9-month relationship. She published a Google Doc outlining the alleged assault and emotional abuse. Riot said Juan misrepresented certain facts, made false statements, and did not cooperate with the investigation in a way expected of a professional Valorant esports player. Riot said Juan may resume playing Valorant professionally on September 10th, meaning he will be able to participate in Valorant's last chance qualifiers and champions with Sentinels. But Juan will have to complete conduct training before then, too. Happy gaming.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E Report.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or InterMiami Marketing, LLC.
It's time for Kai's Corner on OnSideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnSideRadio.com.
Hour number 2 here at the corner, as NorCal likes to call it, Kai's Corner. Yes, Sean?
No, a lot of things happen on the corner.
Yeah, a lot of things always happen on the corner. Always a fun time here on the corner, as we get to just have a fantastic time every single day. Of course, nothing here would ever happen without the man's voice you just heard coming from the heavens, Sean Stanley, as he makes sure that everything here works as it needs to be, and make sure that everything here runs very, very, very smoothly. For those who did not hear, he said he's doing good. Uneventful morning. Well, I guess it's getting a little eventful, but besides that, I think that I can speak for Sean here where I say it's been a good morning, Sean.
Speak on it, Kai Chisholm. Speak on it.
All right, there we go. So good morning. That's great. You know, we started with a good morning, and now it's a good morning. Everything great, fine, dandy, amazing, awesome. Love to see it all. It's been, man, there's a very lengthy interview that I was going to read here to myself, not just, it's on my own, and I was not expecting that to be as lengthy. You know, I like to, whenever players for my favorite teams go out and they do interviews, especially in like soccer with Bayern Munich, they don't really do a lot of interviews that often. So when they do, I like to go ahead and read those because they're very interesting. And of course, they have to get translated to English because all of them are either in German, or Bayern has a big French contingency in their team, so sometimes it's in French. So we'll have to see. Anyways, for those of you guys who are not here in hour number 1, or those listening in podcast form, I appreciate you guys as well. Like we said, and I did confirm with myself yesterday, that I very stupidly miscounted by one day, because I thought that Twitter would work it as counting one day as one day. Like Monday would be one day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as in 5 days total of the length of the poll, not, Monday plus 5 days after that. So the polls will end on Saturday at 12:30 instead of on Friday at 12:30. So you'll have an extra day as we try something new here, and we're getting it all to work properly. But to go through the poll that we had for today, or the polls that we had for today, of course, we talked with Ronan Murphy, also known on Twitter as Swear I'm Not Paul, writes for Goal, who talks about the Bundesliga and Irish football, of course, being from Ireland. So we talked to him a lot about that, and we had a grand old time. I enjoy talking with Ronan, even when I'm being not a morning person, has to wake up a little bit earlier to make sure we get the interview going and make sure that everything goes good. So I appreciate that from him, and I appreciate that he took the time out of his day, especially considering that the time difference, everything, to come over and speak with me. So very much appreciate that from Ronan, and look forward to talking to him again sometime during the Euros and just in general about the Bundesliga and stuff like that on the side off of air, of course. But the first poll of the day, which I'm pretty shocked that I think maybe it's just what I was reading yesterday on Twitter, but what I've seen so far, there's also some other news about hockey. We'll get to that in a second. But some pretty big stuff as well. This is big news, but other stuff as well. I'm sorry, that threw me off. I care about hockey right now. So Where does your hatred for LeBron James stand? I was surprised that certain people. Sean's seen it now. I was surprised that certain people were really on the don't mind him, because I felt like last night a lot of people were hating LeBron, but pretty much 70% of the vote in, and it says, honestly, don't mind him at all. So very interested in that. And, this is another. So, okay, this is actually getting a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. So in the next poll is who has the biggest breakout season for the Dolphins this season. Raekwon Davis and Noah Igbenogany were tied for quite some time, with Myles Gaskin kind of taking the reins. 250 votes in, and there's still 2 more days to vote on this. Gaskin and Davis are within 3% of each other, 2.8% of each other to be very specific. So that has gotten very close, because Raekwon Davis was in that 24-25% category, and Gaskin was very much up in the poll. And now Raekwon's kind of come back, so it's very, very interesting here. All right, and then lastly, who wins the Euro 2020? Of course, I know it's 2021. They call it Euro 2020, whatever it is. Anyways, these are using the betting odds from Sky Bet. France has continued to run away with it. Germany, though, now has become high second favorites there. It was England, and now Germany's come away there, and Belgium just kind of being the lone one. But, Sean, I'm sure you've seen it. It just came out now. Tonight in Tampa, Chris Drieger will start in goal. How do you feel about that?
Man, I'm happy for Drieger. I didn't know that he had a lot of the defense let him down a little bit on the one goal. The one he was a little bit slow getting back into position, which was his fault. And listening to hockey people talk, the people that I know that know a little bit more about hockey than me, said that Bob really didn't have that bad of a game. Yes, they scored 4 goals, but it wasn't all Bob's fault. So I was thinking, okay, well, then we go back to Bob since he's got the experience. But Coach Q, I can't question him, man. I can't question it. Let's go, Driegs.
I think it's shocking to a lot of Panthers fans, right? I guess just because you expected maybe they would go to another change there.
Well, no, I think you just thought that, okay, it didn't work with Drieger at that one. Let's go back to Bob and see what happens. But obviously, Coach Q was happier with Drieger in that, because you're not going to put him back in there if you don't think he can handle it.
Yeah, that's interesting. What are your also? I guess like from someone else who knows a little bit more hockey than I do, of course. By a little bit, I mean a lot of it. What are your thoughts on kind of like the roundtable today in terms of everything happening? I guess with the fact that you have Drieger, you have Bob, and then you have Spencer Knight kind of in the waiting.
Well, Drieger has outplayed Bob this year. So again, when it gets into hockey, the big thing is when the goalie's hot, you're going to go places. And neither one of our goalies are, I guess, hot. They're both average. They're both good, but they're not great. And I think you're seeing that when you look at Tampa Bay's goalie, who is pretty good, pretty damn great. And you're watching how this series is going. One of the things I think also, and real quick to answer your thing, I think Bob stays because his contract is guaranteed. Nobody's going to take it.
Right.
Drieger's going to re-sign because he's a free agent, and rightfully so. He's earned it. Spencer Knight will be, I believe, if he's not starting game 1, I would say within the first 15 to 20 games, he's in goal. Meaning as the starter, not just going back and forth with Bob. Right. He will ultimately, I believe, win, and Bob will be our expensive backup. And one of the things, though, too, that I think a lot of Panthers fans need to remember is this year, first round, we're playing Tampa Bay. That normally wouldn't happen. But because of the COVID, you're playing within your division, that little 4-team division thing they got going. Normally, remember, we finished number 2. We would be playing the number 7 seed,
right?
Not Tampa Bay in the first round. So when you're looking at it and you're playing the defending Stanley Cup champions in the first round, that normally doesn't happen. It's happening this year because of all the COVID and the way they scheduled everything.
It's interesting to think about. And, you mentioned the goalie thing. Out of what I've listened to from some people that talk hockey, because I really have, I know it is a joke, but I really have been trying to understand the game a lot more. And I've tried to watch some hockey as well. I watched the Penguin game a little bit ago, the Pittsburgh Penguin game. I watched that one, game 2, that they were able to tie up the series. And I think what I've looked at kind of recently while watching them is I've heard so much is that when you have a hot goalie, that's like it's like a dominant pitcher, I guess, that you have in baseball. It's like when you have someone in between the goal that's on a hot streak that isn't letting anything get by, you could go on and just win the Stanley Cup. Is that kind of how it is looked at?
It is, but it's also looked, I believe, and again, a lot of people during the season, I believe, Panthers fans, we kind of kid ourselves and says, oh, we got 2 good goalies. Well, as in every sport, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
Right.
And now you're starting to see that because neither one of our goalies are at the top of their game.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. It is. It's very interesting. I look at a lot of these, and really the Penguins and the Golden Knights. I still don't like that name from Vegas, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. It's just it's disgusting to me that that's the name. But those are the only ones that are kind of tied. Of course, the Maple Leafs and the Canadiens start here soon. The Bruins have a 2-1 lead. Man, you really need to win this game tonight if you're the Florida Panthers. You cannot let it go. Obviously, you can't go down 3-0, but seriously, this is
you have to put your stamp on
slate.
this series tonight. You have to do something to switch the momentum of the series tonight.
Do you think they can do it?
Listen, here's the one thing, too, that a lot of people are also forgetting about with the Tampa Bay Lightning is their top 3 players have been out up until this series. They're fresh.
Yeah.
Their top 3 players are fresh. Stamkos didn't play the last 20 games. Kucherov was supposedly ready 2 months ago, but just been skating, waiting for the playoffs. So, again, they're fresh. And, again, another thing, and you can see the Lightning are a lot faster than the Panthers if you watch the last game. It looked like the Panthers were sitting still at some instances, and the Lightning was just blowing by them.
Never want to see that.
No, you never want to see that. And again, I think the one thing that a lot of people forget about is normally you're not playing the Lightning in the first round. You're playing another team. And again, it doesn't matter. So I think some of the way that Florida's been playing hasn't been great. But at the same time, you're not going to be playing a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning usually in the first round that are hitting on everything that you're making small mistakes, and they're taking them and putting them in the net.
Don't you think it's crazy? I just another side note to all this. Don't you think it's really crazy that of all the things, you think about hockey, you think about all these greats, you think about Wayne Gretzky, you think about I know there's a lot more that I cannot remember off the top of my head. Though I've been seeing that I've been learning a lot more, but when I think of hockey, I think of Wayne Gretzky, I think of that trade, to get him into LA and everything like that. Who would have thought that in 2021, the presumable best team, because they won last year, and then right now they're just dominating the Panthers, who have been a fantastic team all year, would come from Tampa Bay, of all places. I feel like that's, you look at that and I feel like you can't help but laugh, not in a bad way, but it's you think about it and you're really wow, the best team right now in the NHL in terms of they won the Stanley Cup last year, and right now the Panthers have been a fantastic team all season, and they're, dominating the Panthers, considering the fact that the Panthers won their last 6 in the regular season. The Lightning dropped 3 straight. They weren't on a great run of form, and they're really just taking it to the Panthers and really dominating them. And they're from Tampa Bay, all places. It's just interesting to think about. I don't know.
The team's from Tampa Bay. The players are not.
Oh yeah, I know for sure. But
you know what I'm saying? I mean, they
it's
have
just
a good
funny to
front
think
office.
about.
They have a good front office that has put together a great team. They're fast.
And $17 million over the cap, right? That's been the big thing.
That,
Everyone keeps telling
also,
me.
And again, is one of the things is, and you could, again, credit to their front office. They understood the rule and used it to their advantage.
Yeah.
So however you want to look at it, kudos to them. And again, most times a team's not going to lose their top 3 players.
Right.
So this doesn't happen all that often. You might lose your number 1 or your number 3 or something like that, but you're not going to lose all 3 of them. They did. And they played it smart. They looked at the rules and said, okay, this is what we need to do. They did it, and now here we are.
Yeah, it is what it is. To my knowledge as well, didn't Vegas make the Stanley Cup Finals in their first season? When they came through? Something along that
I believe Vegas did, yeah. The first
but they
season,
lost
they ended up losing in the Stanley Cup Finals, yeah.
Because I remember I was like, wow. That's crazy that this team just.
But again, you can do that if you have a right front office and you have a front office that works with the coach as well. Again, because if you get and we see it, last season here at InterMiami, I think if you have a coach and his philosophy is this, and you have a front office getting players who is this philosophy, it doesn't work out. It just
right.
So again, if it's a team working together, coming together and getting that one goal. You saw it work in Las Vegas the first time people came together.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Anyways, for those who we might have lost, I'm learning about hockey. I think I'm getting way more interested in it as well.
And David Dwork, I guess Joel Quenneville came out and he said the decision, it wasn't an easy decision to say the least. So
Interesting.
I wonder if there's some grumbling in the back.
There has to be something. There has to be something there. That'll be interesting to see. Anyways, coming up next, we'll talk with Alana Tahauer, and we will talk to her about all things Miami Heat, of course, as they lead up to a weekend clash with the Milwaukee Bucks. Over the last 30 years, South Florida fans have always been able to count on one radio show that gives you the brutal honesty you need. Orlando Alzugari and the Onside Zone, daily from noon to 3 p.m., exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where InterMiami and all Miami sports fans shop.
WLESPN, broadcasting from a largely empty building. And we do sports.
It's just not local.
Shush, honey.
Why is the building empty?
Because whether it be budget cuts or stupid management, we've fired almost everybody.
Ooh, but we still have our job live and local.
At least the building is.
We've got your sports.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At ChaseRoofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. ChaseRoofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust ChaseRoofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
InterMiami fans, time to find out more about your favorite soccer team with OnsideRadio.com's IMCF Football Focus. Here's Austin Robillard.
InterMiami are set to take on the Chicago Fire at Soldier Field this Saturday night. A couple of training pictures were posted the other day on social media, and it saw both Kelvin Leardom and Nico Figal back to training, looking to be a little bit healthy. If anything, Kelvin Leardom would be the one fully fit and ready to go over Nico Figal, who had a little bit of a worse injury, but at the very least, it would probably mean that Victor Ujoa would be dropped from the starting 11 and we have a true right back along the back line. Let's see if this helps the team defensively.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right. It's been a great show thus far, and now it should get a little bit interesting. We are going to have on Alana Tahauer from 5 Reasons Sports, someone who was going back and forth with Michael a little bit last night on some Twitter stuff as well. Alana, how are you doing?
That's the norm, though, now, isn't it? That was quite an intro. Now I'm excited.
I mean, I understand. When you deal with Michael enough, and for as long as you do, I know. I mean, I only have to talk to him every, couple weeks. And, yesterday we didn't have our show, and I was like, I haven't talked to him in 2 weeks. So I have to say, I like Michael, so I miss him. He's my guy. But, when you're talking to him enough, sometimes Mike has some poor takes. So, when you're arguing with him, I honestly can't blame you.
It's good, though. It helps me develop, interesting theories to my arguments because I have to hit him with the same thing over and over again from a different angle until he caves. So we're getting there. I think by the end of maybe, the playoffs, we'll be able to align more on things, but at least he keeps things fun.
Yeah, it makes things fresh and interesting, and, you're able to do, I guess, a lot more, and you prepare yourself for anything that he might say. You're like, I already know how I can come at this, and our argument conversation over. But I want to ask you, we're going to talk about the Heat. We're going to talk about everything else when we get to it. And I know you're upset, as I think a lot of people are, at the timing that the Heat are going to have their first game of the playoffs coming up this weekend.
I think I may be more upset than most because I'm actually going to Milwaukee, and that kind of derailed my whole day. Traffic is going to be nuts. And also, I just feel like it's a weird time to drink. I don't know if this is okay to talk about, but, it's in the middle of the day, but it's not like Sunday fun day. I don't know. I would have preferred an evening game or at least a late afternoon, but I'm so excited to be going.
That's why you have brunch. Have a nice little brunch while you watch the game.
I think I'm going to have to leave here. I can't really remember how long it takes because I literally haven't been there since I think the last time was maybe October 2019. But I think I'm going to have to leave 2-3 hours in advance. And then it's I don't know. It cuts my day funny, but I'm not going to complain. The fact that I even get to go is a blessing. The fact that we're able to attend games at all after what we went through in the last year.
Yeah.
So I'm still excited, but I would have liked the later game.
Are you going as a member of press? Or are you going just to enjoy yourself? What's the vibe?
No, I'm just going as a fan, which is going to be interesting because sometimes I kind of have to take myself out of the mindset of, going to cover a team or look at the game in a certain way. Right. So I'm just kind of going to relax and take it all in.
Okay. Well, listen, I think 2 p.m. is not that bad of a time to drink. Okay. I have been that's why I said brunch. I've been introduced to the idea of brunch now by a few of my friends because I'm being forced to attend a brunch on Sunday. So, they swear to me. And actually, this is a good question. I don't know, Alana, if you're into brunch or mimosas or something, because I'm definitely not. But they swear to me that mimosas are going to get me drunk on Sunday. And I am someone who can drink quite a lot and not get drunk. And they are of the mindset, no matter what, I'm going to drink a mimosa. They're going to be like, watch, you're going to see that it's powerful. Are you at all in that kind of lane?
Oh, for sure. Bottomless mimosas is the highlight of brunch. The trick is to just not put too much OJ because sometimes when I'm doing it with my friends, we kind of do it ourselves so we know that it's just a splash of that orange juice. Right. Some restaurants try to load up to kind of avoid that. But listen, I wish you luck because mimosas can be a tricky thing.
So this is a true thing then, because I swear, I've told them because I prefer some tequila, some vodka, and I just kind of enjoy myself. And even the amounts of drinking, shots, stuff like that, I'll never get drunk. So it'll be tipsy maybe. They're swearing to me. They're like, listen, Kai, you don't understand. Brunch mimosas are something different. So it really is something different.
That bubbly hits different, and you don't really feel it because you're just you're drinking OJ. This is good for you. I'm just gonna have 2, 3, 4. It'll be a fun time.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, all right. So, damn, this is probably going to be an interesting time then. All right. Well, anyway, so we get into I want to ask about the Lakers game last night and kind of, I guess, just your thoughts.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah. Well, of course. The Lakers game last night, and then I guess your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on LeBron, and then also kind of what do you feel about the play-in game?
Okay, I feel like I'm going to alienate myself from Heat Twitter once again, and this just seems to be a common theme, especially when I come on your show. I do not hate LeBron. I'm sorry, I just don't. I still support him. Now, if it's between the Heat and the Lakers or the Heat and LeBron and whatever team he's on, obviously I'm picking the Heat. No hezzo. But am I going to sit here and say that I wasn't happy that LeBron won last night? No, I personally cannot stand the Warriors. Steph is amazing. He's super talented. He's really fun to watch. I still don't like the team. So for the Lakers to have pulled that off, I was happy. Me and Michael were actually going at it last night over text message, and it felt so good to get that dub over him. And I know, my timeline was flooded with Heat fans just saying that LeBron doesn't deserve it or the Lakers don't deserve to be in the playoffs. And, there is something to be said about the fact that they're barely squeezing their way in. But let's not forget that the Heat almost found themselves in the same position. So I feel like it's a little hypocritical to be kind of throwing the Lakers under the bus.
You think it's just like the LeBron hate? Because that's what I think for sure. I didn't understand how much of a brat LeBron is about certain things until last season in the finals. That's when I was like, all right, well, yeah, LeBron kind of complains a little bit too much about things. But at the same time, it's like I feel like some people just can't. Like, you're watching some great stuff there, and that game in general is just so amazing. I feel like the takeaway from the game was LeBron, instead of, wow, this was such a fantastic matchup. I wish I could see this for a 7-game series.
Yeah, and I honestly feel, and I could be super off on this, but I feel like he's leaning into the criticism at this point. Knowing what we know about his personality and kind of how he took on that villain role when he first did come to Miami, I think that the more people, bitch and moan about the fact that he is complaining so much and the whole dramatics of getting hit in the face, he's going to take advantage of that. The more people kind of fuel the flame, the more he's going to run away with it. And good for him, to be honest, because if people are going to talk anyway, you might as well kind of get what you want out of it. So I honestly think it's hurting fans in them talking about this. I think he's only going to get worse with it. But I think to your point, people were kind of missing the value of the game and how fun it was. Do I still like the play-in tournament? No, I think it's dumb, and I really hope we don't continue with it moving forward. But I am glad that it was a good matchup.
Oh, so you don't like it at all?
I just, as a concept, I don't want to backpedal and say, like, oh, well, because it was a good game, now I like it. I was consistent in my take up until last night about it, and I still believe that I don't know if I believe that it should come down to one game. It was a great game, and it obviously made things competitive. But so far, the other play-in games haven't really been that way. And so to just take one game and have that as a sample size of like, look, the play-in's great, I'm not ready to kind of backpedal on my take just yet.
Oh, okay, so you still want to hold the line, essentially, before kind of actually hitting that backpedal. Is it something that maybe is it that one game set that is the thing that bothers you, like kind of just having it come down where you can have, like imagine, let's say on Friday, Memphis beats the Warriors. We don't get to see the Warriors in the playoffs, and I feel like just this stretch has been outstanding. So you feel like, it's kind of like they got to that point, they deserve it. Maybe like a best of 3 rather than just one game?
Yeah, I just think it coming down to one game, it kind of mimics college basketball a little too much for me. And, I mean, the irony being that I've worked in collegiate athletics for about 10 years now, and I just don't get into the whole hype. Obviously, March Madness is its own thing. And it's fun for other reasons, but the whole thing coming down to one game. And I think especially this season, all teams across the board, the Heat probably more so than anyone, but they had, injury problems. There was barely an offseason. Health concerns with COVID were across the board. And so for everything to come down to one game after kind of the ups and the downs of the whole season, I just feel like it's a little bit unfair. Does it make for exciting basketball? I mean, it can, but I don't think that last night was because it was a play-in. I just think that these two teams happen to match up well together. Obviously, there's a little bit of extra additional stress because they have to find their way into the playoffs, but I don't think that every play-in game is going to be exciting, as we've seen, honestly, so far.
Yeah, I mean, you can get the Pacers game, which was just, it was not even, yeah, like that. You could get the level that we saw last night, and then you can also get the Pacers game, and then you're just like, all right, well, this is a waste of my time. This is boring. Like, that was the only game out of the ones we saw thus far that was like, all right. I mean, even Jason Tatum drops 50, and you're just like, okay, well, it was a play-in game, and it's whatever. And, like, they get in, but at the same time, you look at last night's game, and that was the one that was expected because you can get those matchups. Lastly here, you're going to the game on Saturday. You're going to watch it. You're going to be there. What are you expecting out of this Heat team, 1, and then 1B to that? How disgusting are those jerseys, and why are they wearing them again?
Okay, so here's my thing. I don't like those jerseys mostly because they look like Pacer jerseys, and I hate everything about Indiana, and I will be full out open. Indiana's like an 18-minute drive for me where I am right now.
Is that a Chicago thing?
I still can't stand
I've
it.
heard that a couple times now from people that live in Chicago that don't like Indiana.
Yeah, I think so. If I had to pick probably my least favorite state, it would be Indiana, and I feel like that's saying a lot because there's some questionable states across this country, but I don't like them because they mimic Pacer jerseys first and foremost. I also don't like them because personally I can't wear that color because my hair is blonde. So I would rather have done away with them. But do I think that people, again, I just feel like people are getting so worked up about the why behind that. Like, is it to get into their heads? Do they just, need it for marketing reasons? Like, I don't get into all of that. It's like, we're wearing the jerseys. It's fine. I think the team is going to come out super hungry, though. I think Jimmy obviously is going to definitely be looking for metaphorical blood. I think he's ready to be out there. I think that game one really sets the tone. I know we kind of touched upon this on Clutch Corner a little bit, whether game one is kind of something that you can just use to get your feet wet or if it's kind of going to set the tone. To me, I think game one is probably the most important because as we've seen, especially with this team, mindset is everything. And once they get into their heads, it's kind of hard for them to bounce back sometimes. So I think they're going to come out really aggressive and really hungry to win.
All right. Well, hopefully it's an exciting game, even despite the jerseys and how much I think everyone should hate the mustard yellow. And then for you, the hate of Indiana in general. I want to thank you so much for coming on, Alana, especially in the short notice. I really appreciate that. You can follow her on Twitter at Alana Tachauer. That's Tachauer. And follow all of her takes and then see her podcast that she has along with Michael Christian, where she and him, I guess, have to deal with each other. I listened to the one last week with the Kardashian thing, and that I think at that point I was just like, all right, well, this is going to be a very interesting podcast. But Alana, thank you so much.
We had Jason Jackson on this week, so definitely go listen. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course, always go check that out from them. Also, you can start your morning every day at 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. Download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It's Toasted Sports, 8 to 10 a.m., only at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodiasDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moodias family. Dr. Moodias is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodiasDental.com.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Miami Lakes location at 15462 Northwest 77th Court, located in the Ryan Oaks Plaza. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
WLESPN. We've got all your sports.
We're live and local.
If you wake up early enough.
You're so bad, honey.
Tune us in, as long as you're not under a bridge.
Or under any power line.
Ain't it awful?
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
Hey, it's Toast, and no doubt last year hurricane season was one of the craziest we've ever seen. Well, Noah's saying once again, going to be another active season. So you need to call B&T Windows and Doors today and get PGT custom windows and doors installed like I did, so that you are fully protected. Listen, there's no better peace of mind than PGT custom windows and doors when you're the cone of death for a Category 5 storm. Call B&T Windows and Doors today to get set up. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Tonight, it is Game 3. Panthers Lightning in Tampa. Puck drops at 6:30. Cats need this win as they are down 2-0 in the series, and Kai Chin-Chisholm will be watching. So let's see how this goes. Last night, Trevor Rogers led the Miami Marlins to a 3-1 win over the Philadelphia Phillies. Rogers went 7 2/3 innings, and the bullpen. Thank you, bullpen. You came through. The Marlins look to win the series tonight at 7:05. Sandy Alcantara, he's on the mound. And then there were 6. Corey Kluber threw the 6th no-hitter of the season, and second in 2 nights. Kluber threw the no-no against the Rangers. 3 teams you want to face if you're a pitcher looking for a no-hitter. The Mariners, the Indians, the Rangers. All 3 teams have been no-hit twice this season. The InterMiami CF, they're in action this Saturday at 6 o'clock. The pregame live from Dangerous Minds Brewing at 5 o'clock with Alex Dono in the Big O. Then Chris Whittingham, Thomas Ronkin, and Fernando Fiore. They'll have the call of the game right here on South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station, OnSideRadio.com.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chin-Chisholm.
Of course, we had to round off with the fact that Timothy Tebow is officially back. Tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Big 8-5.
Big 85. Oh, man. Love to see it. He said, or it was said by Ian Rappaport, that he would wear the number 85, but it was not official. It's just what he would wear today. Well, I guess it is official because Fanatics is now selling a Tim Tebow number 85 jersey. It is not a custom. It is Timothy Tebow game jersey number 85 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Could it be Trevor Lawrence, the first thing on Fanatics website? Could it be Travis Etienne, the first thing on the Fanatics website? Oh no. It is Tim Tebow with 5 things before you see anything related to the number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. You can find his jersey now, donning that number 85 for men, women, and children on the Fanatics website. It ships for free, but it is about $125, so free shipping, $125. It doesn't really matter, but it's interesting. Like, Tebow, obviously we've talked about it, and a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do like it. A lot of people say give him a chance. Some people say don't give him a chance. But I think when you look at it, I mean, dude, it's Tim Tebow. Like, he's getting a chance. Will he make it? Who knows? If he doesn't, it's whatever. If he does, then hey, like, he made it. If he makes it, and it really is what it is, and he makes the team, it's not, oh, it's Tim Tebow getting a chance. It's Tim Tebow makes the team. I think you got to be like, all right, you got to give it up to him. And if he doesn't make the team, he tried, he failed. You got his jersey if you did, and it'll be a collectible forever. Tim Tebow as a freaking tight end wearing number 85 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's how I take it. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Shout out to Alana Tahauer as she came on and she talked about the Indiana Pacers on Kai's Corner as we mess with Alana with her Chicago pride and being a Indiana Pacers fan. because that's what she is, not a Heat fan, not a Heat analyst, not a fanalist. She is an Indiana Pacer through and through. Shout out to Alana. Really appreciate her coming on, especially in like literally very, very short notice. I really appreciate that from her. But yeah, Timothy Tebow. I need to find his full name. Timothy Tebow. He is like just such an interesting, polarizing figure, man. It's so interesting. Here we go. Timothy Richard Tebow. There you go, Richard. That's the one.
That's why everybody doesn't like him.
Because it's Richard.
Yeah, you know what?
Because he's
you know what?
Yeah. I don't think
you know what happens with Richard?
I don't think we can say it.
It's a male anatomy.
Yeah, not my father though. My father, Richard. It's so weird when I think
about
that.
Wait. I mean, you didn't have to go there. I wasn't.
That's
why they don't like Timothy.
I just have to say because my father watches.
Listen,
his name is
I'm
Richard.
saying that's why they don't like Timothy Tebow.
Right.
Okay.
But not my father.
I wasn't going to that route.
I'm saying it for me.
You
my
have
father.
taken it that route.
Because I was saying, yeah, those are the Richards. But my father, it's weird though, because my dad does not go by Richard. He goes by Sataro, which is his middle name. So
there you go.
To me, my father has always been Sataro. It's never been Richard. But hey, it is what it is. It's really weird when sometimes when they call him, like when the other people I hear them, they call him by his like real first name. I'm always like taken for a loop. I'm like, what? Why are people calling him that? Anyways, different thing. Love you, Father. I know you're listening. But he really Tim Tebow is such a polarizing figure. I mean, but just one search, right? Just one single search that you go and you look at, you have Tim Tebow. You have Tim Tebow Colin Cowherd. You have Tim Tebow tight end. Tim Tebow contract. Tim Tebow Jaguars. Like, you have and you go into the latest. Gators fans talking about it, Jaguar fans. They're saying, okay, now bring in Percy Harvin. Like, they're making fun of his hairstyle. They're making fun of his jersey number. Though this edit from Fox, if you want to go check it out, I'm gonna retweet it. It looks cool. It looks real cool. In my opinion, it looks like a beast. But he's donning 15. Of course, which I think 15 is DJ Chark, if I'm not mistaken. I think. It's very, I don't know. It's very interesting. Tim Tebow's just a polarizing figure, man. Just everything about him. He's just a different type of beast, I guess. Do they have him officially listed? They don't have him officially listed on the website as 85. Interesting. Do they even have him as a listed signee? They do not. This is actually kind of interesting. The Jaguars don't have Tim Tebow listed on their website yet, but they're selling number 85 jerseys. Huh. This is, I don't know. This is very interesting. I'm very intrigued by this because, I don't know. Like, there's a video of him. Oh, my God. There's a video of him wearing number 85 walking in practice. This is from News 4 in Jacksonville. He looks like a tight end, dude. He does not look like a quarterback. Tebow, man, you could have been. What could have been? If Timothy Richard Tebow would have just not been so to his guns about having to be a freaking quarterback, man. We could have seen this, last time he played was 2015. We could have seen this pretty much like 7 years ago. 7 years. Imagine the career Tim Tebow would have had as a tight end. Like, that's what I have to think about. He's the hardest working man in the business. He's the guy. I feel so bad for my my Hurricane fans that listen because they don't like the Gators at all. They don't like that. Sometimes I don the Gators stuff. I am a Gators fan, man. I don't know what to tell you. But Timothy Richard Chisholm. I don't know why, but when I say Timothy, I think of when I say Thomas, because Tom Brady is Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. So now I think of that. Another thing coming out. This literally just popped up on the ticker on ESPN. I don't know why I haven't seen this yet. There have been 7 people charged with the death of Diego Maradona. Huh. That's interesting. What the heck? Diego Maradona. 7 people have been charged, saying it's professional homicide that they've been charged with. All right, interesting. But, oh my gosh. Again, Tim Tebow in this jersey. That's what I come away with. I look at this. I'm so excited. I want to see a video that they have of him today in practice catching like a anything. Just anything at all. I just need to see Tebow. I just need to see it. I can't wait. I hope he makes the team so I can use Tim Tebow in Madden as a tight end as well. And like just make him like 20 years old and do like a Tim Tebow. I just thought of a great video idea. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say anything else. Anyways, we're going to start to round out the segment and round out the show. Of course, having everything here. Want to give a shout to Big O, especially as he gets ready to go into surgery. Hopefully everything goes well with him. So I want to give him a shout as well. Sports fans, you can always catch up with all of our daily segments here by subscribing to Onside Radio on most platforms. You can listen to us. Let's run that back. You can listen to us discuss the hottest topics on the roundtable, that including anything from national sports headlines to here at home. Esports fans, you can always get the latest with our E-Minute that gets provided to you by myself, Michael Christian, and Toast as we come in and we provide some of the biggest news that we can find regarding esports. Florida Panthers fans, you can always catch David Dwork as he provides his great insight with the Panthers Minute. Austin Robillard provides the InterMiami Minute, and he gives you something every single day, gives you the passion that you really deserve if you are a fan of the team. And then Christian Chase and Alex Aguirre provide the insight that Marlins fans deserve when they talk about the Miami Marlins. You can subscribe, rate, and review to Onsite Radio on all platforms, the station that has the passion South Florida fans deserve.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where InterMiami and all Miami sports fans shop. InterMiami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all InterMiami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the InterMiami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com. There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork and our Chirping the Cats report.
Game 3 is upon us as the scene shifts from South Florida to the West Coast. The Panthers are in an 0-2 hole after dropping both games 1 and 2 at the BB&T Center this week, and the Cats will have to make a little magic on the road if they're going to claw their way back into this best-of-7 series. The good news for Florida is they get center Sam Bennett back in the lineup. Bennett was suspended for Game 2 after a boarding incident during the series opener that was deemed worthy of more than a penalty or a fine by the NHL's Department of Player Safety. The hope is that Bennett's return will get his recent line mates going again after Jonathan Huberdeau and Owen Tippett were held to a combined 3 shots on goal during Game 2. Another question surrounding the Panthers is which goaltender ends up getting the nod from head coach Joel Quenneville for Game 3. Both Sergei Bobrovsky and Chris Driedger have received a start during the postseason, with neither coming away with a win. One thing you can bet on is that world-class goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky will be in net for Tampa. The puck drops on Game 3 at 6:30 from Amalie Arena.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right. Getting ready to round out the show. No cross-talking today, of course, as previously mentioned by himself, and then just in general, Big O getting ready to go into his surgery, so hopefully everything goes well with him. And then, of course, because of that, we're here. We're going to go through. I want to lastly touch on here in the few minutes that I have left of the show before I round it out. The U.S. men's national team released their training camp roster that they're going to have here pretty soon, and besides maybe I don't think the keeper position is that great right now, but there are a lot of very interesting names in U.S. men's national team soccer. And if you want to hear more in-depth things, I suggest that you listen to Red Card Radio every single Saturday here with Austin Robillard, because he's going to talk about it as well. But when you really think about it and you go through, you have some really great talent in your forwards. You know, Timothy Weah has been coming on pretty well with Lille this season, finally again. After being at PSG, then being at Celtic, now he's at Lille. Finally, he's starting to come along. Giovanni Reyna has been very good for Dortmund. Hit a little bit of a skid recently, but he's been very good. Josh Sargent has been good for what he has been able to do at Werder Bremen. Of course, Bremen's just been a shell of themselves that they used to be. And then Matthew Hoppe has been very, very fantastic, even on a just absolutely horrible team in Schalke, who got relegated, of course. And then Brendan Arison's been very nice as well. Yunus Musa, of course, declared to be a part of the U.S. Citizenship there and be a part of the team there. So he's going to cap Weston McKennie. It's been a little bit interesting since that party, of course, but he's been okay. You have Sebastian Lletget. Tyler Adams, of course, has been very, very great as a midfielder for RB Leipzig. I think you get into defense and you get into the keeper, and that's where you kind of are a little bit interesting on the team. John Brooks, of course, has been a mainstay for the U.S. for quite some time. Reggie Cannon's been coming on. Serginho Dest has become a very, very good right back at Barcelona after coming away from Ajax. Mark McKenzie's pretty good. He's been there with Genk in the Belgian league. Matt Miazga has also kind of been there. He's been a stay for a while. Brian Reynolds you have now at Roma. Antoine Robinson, who is a left back, or Anthony Robinson, excuse me. He plays for Fulham. He's been pretty good. So you have some really good, nice guys that you're hoping there at right back and left back in Serginho Dest and Anthony Robinson, respectively. So you do kind of have some guys there. I think Serginho Dest being the strong suit. And then, of course, John Brooks. What's interesting to me out of all this, and I think it might be because of injury, I have to make sure, because if not for injury, I'm going to be very shocked on what's up here. Let's see. It seems like, oh yeah, because he has a hamstring injury. That's right. I was gonna say, because if not, then that was gonna be very interesting. So you're without Chris Richards, because of course he has an injury right now to his hamstring, and then also I just realized Zach Steffen's not there, as they're gonna be playing for the Nations League. But they did say that both players are expected to join for the Nation League semifinal against Honduras on the 3rd of June. So that's good. The final roster is due on the 24th, so they still have a couple days. This is just a training camp roster. So Christian Pulisic will be there. Zach Steffen will be there, and then the keeper spot will really be one that's going to be solidified. I'm very interested to see what happens regarding Chris Richards. Of course, he has a hamstring injury, but he has been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. The bigger one, I think, that is one that's very, very surprising, is Justin Che, who, of course, has been on loan from FC Dallas to Bayern Munich this season with their second division team, Bayern Munich 2, who plays in the third division of English football. It's their reserve team. He's on loan, and they're trying to buy him. He's been fantastic in the games that he's played. A lot of people really, really like him and what he's been doing. He's only had a few appearances for Bayern Munich 2, but they love him, and they're going to try to sign him on a deal. And most famously, this is huge for the U.S. side, because they look at this guy, they look at this very, very young talent. He's only 17 years old. You look at this super, super young and raw talent, a homegrown player there at FC Dallas, born in Dallas, everything like that, or born in Texas, close to Dallas, Richardson, Texas. He's eligible to play for Cameroon, United States, Russia, and Germany. So if you're the U.S., this is a great call, bringing him up to kind of the mainstay team, saying this is, trying to call him up and get him a cap, because once you reach that, I believe it's 3 caps, then you're locked in. So that's a good job by them. I'll be interested to see if Justin Che gets brought on by any chance to the U21 rosters for either Russia or Germany, because those are some teams that you would have to look at and look to see if they would bring him on. But besides that, it's been a great show. I want to thank Sean so much, of course, being here with me and making sure that everything works. I want to thank everyone that listens as well for coming on here and having a great morning with myself. Hope the rest of you have a great rest of your day as well. This has been Kai's Corner on the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. You're listening, of course, to OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to the home of InterMiami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for InterMiami.
OnSideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat Rated.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At chaseroofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. Chaseroofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. InterMiami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all InterMiami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the InterMiami Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. OnSideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your On-Side Radio E-Report with Toast.
Valorant developer Riot Games has suspended Jay Sinatra Juan for 6 months for his failure to cooperate with a sexual assault investigation. The former Overwatch pro player will also have to complete professional conduct training, and the investigation has now been turned over to law enforcement, according to Riot Games. In March, a former partner accused Juan of sexual assault during a 9-month relationship. She published a Google Doc outlining the alleged assault and emotional abuse. Riot said Juan misrepresented certain facts, made false statements, and did not cooperate with the investigation in a way expected of a professional Valorant esports player. Riot said Juan may resume playing Valorant professionally on September 10th, meaning he will be able to participate in Valorant's last chance qualifiers and champions with Sentinels. But Juan will have to complete conduct training before then, too. Happy gaming.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the On-Side Radio E-Report.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of On-Side Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or InterMiami Marketing, LLC.
Launch sequence 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sit back, buckle up. It's time to cruise the best of the On-Side Zone with Orlando Azugari. Make sure you follow O on Twitter at Big O Show. Here's the best of the On-Side Zone, exclusively at OnSideRadio.com. The On-Side Zone.
And look, man, I don't care if you're my wife. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say it.
The On-Side Zone.
I don't care how you win a championship, dude. You can draft it, you can buy it, you can trade for it. Just win, baby.
The On-Side Zone.
You're not Aladdin rubbing the lamp and then Will Smith comes out and you ask him, hey, fix our dolphin problems.